Alright, what's up everyone? It's been a week or so since I put out a video talking about views. Basically, I listened to the album a couple more times. And when I say listen to it a couple more times, I actually just mean listened to the songs that I liked on it because, well, that's kind of what I want to talk about today, actually.
I've been kind of
on the lookout for, opinions on Drake's album, and just knowing a couple of my friends saying that, it wasn't really his best stuff, or, something that they're not really going to listen to too much longer. It's just going to be one of those things that will just fade out really quickly and won't have very much replay value. I watched a review by Anthony Fantano. He runs a channel called The Needle Drop. And in it, he says a lot of things that I was thinking about the album. So first of all, I'm just going to go ahead and say that this guy reviews a lot of music. And I can understand the fact that he doesn't like the album. This guy went out and listened to it kind of intensively. He took his time with the review. I think he published it on May the 2nd. So he took a couple of days to form his opinions on it. I didn't bother to listen to the whole album intensively, I really have listened to the songs that I like, and I kind of avoided the slow songs. So this guy's opinion of the album is probably the correct one. He says that he doesn't like the album, but it had some high points. I like this album. I think Views is more of a personal project for Drake. I don't really think you can say that it's bad at all. I think that I want to go through the song list and compare it to If You're Reading This, It's Too Late, just because I feel like If You're Reading This, It's Too Late is by far his best album. And that's basically what this guy says also. He says that he likes If You're Reading This, It's Too Late, and then also What a Time to Be Alive by Drake and Future, because those two, and also his beef with Meek Mill, because he's feeling confident and it's all really fun, makes you feel good rap. Whereas in Views, there's a couple of songs where, well, most of the album, it's not really that interesting, and he says a lot of things over and over. I believe he makes this point in there. And I definitely really agree with that. He says in his review that he finds a lot of this stuff really boring that Drake's talking about. There's a couple of songs in this album that I can't listen to. All of Drake's singy stuff I really tune out for or skip, just because I don't find it interesting either. The one time where Drake is really interesting to me is when he's talking about Toronto and why he stays there, because I think that it's that person that I really respect him for that. That's basically the reason why I think Drake is unique. If you've watched my other video, you'll know. But Views kind of deserves this mixed response that he's getting from most people. I know Charlemagne has this opinion too. Not that interesting to listen to Drake talk about his relationships. So what I thought I would do is do a side-by-side comparison of both albums. And I have them up here. I'll just get them. On genius.com. So here we have Views on the right. And we have If You're Reading This, It's Too Late on the left. And I really like If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. But Views is good too. The problem here, the reason why I'm doing this is I want to see if I actually do like If You're Reading This, It's Too Late better than Views. Because there's a couple songs on Views that I like, but I just think that they're held back by one thing or the other from being really something that I'll listen to for a long time. Alright, so If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. The first track, Legend. Compared to the first track on Views is Keep the Family Close. Now, both of these tracks are really good for me. I think Legend is probably a top 10 Drake track. And then there's Keep the Family Close, which has the dumbest line. I really love Keep the Family Close as a song, just because it sounds like a James Bond track, and a lot of people have thrown that out. I know that I'm repeating what other people have said, but, there's nothing I can do about that. It just does sound... It sounds really good with the horns. Keep the Family Close. Yeah, he has the line that I actually did laugh at. And I hadn't looked up any opinions or anything about the album at the time. I was doing my first listen through, and Drake had the line about the Chrysler and Bentley, and I actually laughed at that because it's just a really dumb line. So, but with that said, though, I actually really love Keep the Family Close. I don't know. I'd have to give it to Legend, though, on that one. Then you go with Energy and 9. Again, Energy is just a better song than 9. 9 has got a cool Toronto feel. We turn the 6 upside down, saying how he turned Toronto upside down.
On the other hand, Energy, I would say 9 is a really good song, but it is kind of boring.
I guess because there's just other songs that have done what he's doing with 9 better. And we've got Energy on the other side track too, that everybody plays today. Everybody plays it. Trying to drain me of this energy. I got enemies, got a lot of enemies. Everybody remembers it now today. 9, I guess it's there. I still giving it to Energy. So we got a 2-0 track lead on If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. It's my preference. 3, You With Me from Views. Hang on, I gotta go listen to this one again. Alright, we're back. I listened to You With Me, or the first 40 seconds, and then I skipped halfway through. And then I hit the line about Happy Meals and towing. And then I switched and I listened again to 10 Bands because, oh my gosh, 10 Bands is probably one of my top 3 favorite Drake tracks. It is up there at the top with Trophies and 0 to 100 probably. It's one of my top 3 for sure. So yeah, we've got a 3-0 lead here for If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. Another heavyweight on If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. Track 4 is Know Yourself. And of course this one is the one where Drake goes, if you're running through the 6 with your woes, you know how that should go. And then on the other side we've got Feel No Ways from Views, and there's really no comp there either. You gotta go with, so 4-0 right now for, and apparently, I know Views actually, the strong half of Views is the front half, so I'm a little worried about it right now. Alright, we've got 5 No Tellin' on If You're Reading This, It's Too Late, and 5 Hype. Well, this is a really close one, probably Hype. We'll give this one to Hype, even though No Tellin' is a pretty underrated song in my opinion. On If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. But Hype is definitely the best, in my opinion, one of the best songs on Views. It's definitely one that could actually be inside If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. And I think the Needle Drop review said this. Hype wouldn't really be out of place on If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. So yeah. What do we got right now? We have a 4-1 lead for If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. We've got 6 is Madonna on If You're Reading This, It's Too Late, and 6 is Weston Road Flows on Views. So this is a tough one. So Madonna on If You're Reading This, It's Too Late is kind of a big puffy track. Weston Road Flows is probably the better song, but it still has If You're Green Like It's Earth Day has one of its lines or something like that. It's kind of weird. I'm gonna give it to Views there. So what are we at? 4-2. 7, 6 God. We'll give If You're Reading This, It's Too Late with that one, just because we don't even really have to talk about it a whole lot. Star 67 is an interesting song, and it's up against With You by Party Next Door. So Star 67 is one that I kind of wish existed on Views, or an equivalent of. It's a pretty long track, and it's It's a chest thumpy kind of one for Drake, but up against With You by Drake with Party Next Door, who I usually like with Drake. I think Party Next Door is amazing, but I'd still give it to star 67. Just if you listen to With You, it's such a weird song. I kind of like it at first for a couple of seconds, and then I don't like it because it's too slow, I think. And Party Next Door is trying to sing this really kind of dopey verse. I just can't get my head around it, even though I normally love Party Next Door. 9. Preach versus Faithful. So we're going to give that one to Preach. Preach is also featuring Party Next Door. It doesn't say this on Genius, but Party Next Door is on Preach, and again, like it's a song that if it was on Views, it would be amazing, but it's just kind of another song on If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. Like, If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. Man, let's see, we've got Good Track Legend, Good Track Energy, Good Track 10 Bands, Good Track Know Yourself, Okay Track No Tellin'. The first kind of puffy bad one is Madonna on. So we're 5-1. Reading This, It's Too Late's got 5 good ones. Sorry, 4 really good ones. 1 good one, 1 kind of not so good one. And then 6 God, good one. Star 67, pretty okay. Preach, good one. And on the Views side, we've got Keep the Family Close. I guess we'll label that as a good one. 9, we'll give that as pretty okay. You With Me, could care less about that song. Feel No Ways, again, don't care about it. Hype, good song. Weston Road Flows, pretty okay. Redemption, can't care less about it. With You. Faithful, no, not really. So we'll just do 10, and then we'll do a halfway count. Alright, so Wednesday Night Interlude is kind of it's a halfway point break, really, on this. I don't really count it as a song, but Still Here is a really solid song. I would say it's right up there with Hype, and I really like it, especially because he's talking about why he's still in Toronto. But so we'll give that one to Views on 10. Okay. So at this point we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 7 out of 10, in my opinion. Quality, really good songs. From rapping songs too, not singing songs. From Drake. On If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. 7 out of 10. That's pretty darn amazing. There's not a lot of albums that have 7 out of 10. 70% of the songs you don't want to skip on. So really good from If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. And then we look at Views over here and we see, okay, let's count. 2. So we've got 5 out of 10. Pretty big difference, I guess. Yeah, 5 out of 10 that you want to really go back to with Views, compared to If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. I thought it would be actually lower. So we've got Keep the Family Close, 1, 2, 9, 3, Hype, 4, Weston Road Flows, and 5, Still Here. Yeah, that's fair enough. Fair enough, I guess. So far, though, If You're Reading This, It's Too Late is more fun to listen to, by far. Alright, let's wrap this up and go to the next 10.